Hey, fellow recording junkies. Just wanted to talk a little bit today about production.
That'll be beep up wonderful. Okay, stand by 13, we're looking at it.
To me, at a very high level, I have these three simple rules. You have to have a great song, you have to have a great performance of that song, and then you have to have a great recording of the great performance of that great song. You have those three things, you've got something that's going to be pretty darn good. If you don't have one of those components, you might as well toss it. So if we dive into that a little bit deeper, you can break it down into a few more things. And I actually have this written on the door of the control room just so people remember. You have to have a good concept or theme. So, what are you trying to say with this song? What's your concept? What's your theme? And then from there, you have to have a good melody for the song, something that, holds somebody's attention. You don't want to sing the same melody line over on each chorus. For instance, when you copy a chorus to a chorus to a chorus, you've got such a generic, lifeless thing. Try just changing up one note here and there or one inflection, and you'd be surprised how that'll keep the attention of the person listening to the music. Rhythm. In popular music, rock, country, blues, every form of music like that, you need to have some kind of good rhythm. In fact, I don't know of any music you don't need to have a good rhythm, even classical. Dun, 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 Harmony. You've got to have some kind of harmonic component. So, for instance, you might have in a standard chord structure, and you might have some kind of harmonic component behind that, whether it be strings or whether it be vocal harmonies or whatever. A harmonic component makes that song really kind of come alive and give it some atmosphere. You've got to have decent lyrics, and you can't just, every country song shouldn't be about your truck and your girlfriend and your dog and bear. You have to have something lyrically that is compelling, something that's worth listening to, something that the listener's going to say, whoa, what'd they say there? I think it's important to have density in the music as well. When I say density, what I'm talking about is having something that kind of glues the components together. You could imagine if you make a cake with all dry ingredients, I don't think it's going to bake very well. So you have to have the density, those other components that you mix in with those dry components to really make that thing work, really make it taste good. Instrumentation. I think that instrumentation can be something as simple as a guitar by itself with the vocalist, a singer-songwriter type scenario. Or instrumentation can be, depending on the genre, it can be tons of guitars and drums and keyboards and all sorts of things. But know what kind of instrumentation fits that concept, that theme, and the arrangement of the song itself. You don't have to fill every hole. In fact, leave space, but have the right instrumentation. Don't just throw stuff in there because you have it in your plugin library. The song structure itself. So if you've got a good song and you've got good lyrics and it seems like it's pretty decent, let's just not get caught into a rut of we're going to do intro, we're going to do verse, we're going to do chorus, we're going to do solo, we're going to do bridge, chorus, outro, whatever that structure is. Don't keep using that same structure over and over. Make it interesting. Some songs only have verses. Some songs start with a chorus, some songs start with a verse, some songs start with an intro. And performance. Performance is key. It's one of those three components I talked about at the beginning. If you don't have a decent performance, then you're going to ruin a good song. So if you've got the decent song, a great song and a great arrangement, you've got to have musicians that can pull off the performance of that. Now, not all musicians are accustomed to the studio. It can throw even the best musicians off. It can be a little bit intimidating. It can be that red light syndrome. So sometimes you need to rely on other musicians to get your point across. And if you're one of those singer-songwriters, don't try to play everything yourself. Let other people have an input. It's a team sport. And one of the great things about making music is interacting with other people, other musicians. You get that energy, you get that vibe, and it just works. And you'll know when it works. You'll feel it. You know, the hair will rise up on your arms. You'll just feel it. Then lastly, a couple things. The recording quality. You can have, well, nowadays you can use a lot of components that are on your laptop, of course. But if you really want to record decent quality music, you're going to have to mic up some instruments. And in order to do that, you're going to have the right kind of microphones. You're going to have the right kind of space, especially when it comes to things like drums or loud guitar amps. Especially drums. You need to have not just enough room to set up the drums, but you have to have height, width. You have to have the space to let those sounds develop, and the number of microphones that it takes to get that sound that you want. That takes a lot of knowledge, a lot of trial and error, the right equipment and the right space. That's why us recording studios still have a purpose. Finally, the mix. The mix has to be good, and they used to call it in the old days balancing. So you would balance the different instruments against each other, give everything their space. You don't want to have everything compressed to its loudest, because if everything's as loud as everything else, it just doesn't work. You got to leave space. Remember, it's a three-dimensional thing, all right? You've got to have EQ, which is low to high. You've got to have your balance left to right, which we also call panning. And then you also have to have your space in depth, which front to back is your volume. So volume front to back, pan left to right, EQ top to bottom. Those are your three dimensions. Keep that in mind and give everything the proper space that they need. Don't automatically throw a compression on everything. Don't automatically use plugins because you have plugins. Really learn the craft of mixing. Try mixing something with nothing on it and seeing how it sounds, and then go from there. So anyway, that's my quick synopsis on my approach to production. So look forward to seeing you again soon.
That'll be B plus 1. Okay, stand by 13, we're looking at it.